Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coin Lady channel. I think it's reasonable to assume that we all agree that XRP has the potential to become quite valuable in the future, especially when compared to other cryptocurrencies. Into the form it's in now. However, the real issue is how to get there. Are people actually using it? Is that practical? Is it just the unproven nature of human behavior in crypto? Let's have a chat about it right now. The favorable price action over the past few days makes this a very intriguing development. We're going to break this down a little, but first, here's the headline from the Crypto Basics: high price unlikely to stem from speculative speculators, experts suggest. And in terms of, real-world utility for different use cases, such as every use case when XRP is used for one thing and not used. Whether it's because people are occupying the space or because it's essential to a process like on-demand liquidity, the resource in question is currently unavailable for any other purpose. For one, it's currently unavailable for any other use. That means you can't have it. It's unavailable right now for some reason. I think a larger crypto market, with more individuals entering the market overall and some proportion of those people being interested in XRP, would be a major contributor to the environment in which XRP demand is rising. That's great news, by the way. That's why it's important to consider the practical implications of this, but we also can't ignore the role that speculators play. It's always been that way, and it always will be. But let me clarify something before I go any further. I don't have any form of backing when it comes to money. I am not giving any kind of financial guidance. And remember, you should never use anything I say as a reason to buy or sell something. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. Alright, let's get going. According to industry expert Molly Elmore, the price of XRP will be driven up not by short-term speculators, but by widespread adoption and practical use. The price of Ripple's XRP has been the subject of much speculation in recent weeks as the crypto community awaits the resolution of a multi-year litigation with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Molly Elmore, a well-known expert in the field, has cast doubt on the widespread belief that XRP can reach $1,000, arguing that a price increase would not be driven by speculative investors looking for quick profits. I'm not trying to sound like an expert right now, though. I wouldn't go so far as to call myself an expert, but to call Molly Elmore an expert is stretching things a bit. Just so we're clear, I'm disagreeing with the content she identified and not with her as a person. I don't engage in character assassination on this channel. Rather, I disagree with stupid, bad ideas. And I believe she has some terrible, harmful beliefs with regards to XRP in particular. Let me give you my reasoning. But the buyback committee includes Molly Elmore among its members. I have no idea if they are even still carrying out that entire operation. Earlier this year, it was huge news, and I wrote extensively about it. And the warning, you'll remember that this is the same group that was releasing the ridiculous XRP pricing models, complete with outlandish assumptions that have no basis in reality. They eventually settled on a model demonstrating that each XRP represented the parameters of that specific model. Using those values, you can determine whether or not you are worth, and I'm going off memory here, but not quite $120,000. This is the stupidest thing imaginable. And their whole approach was flawed at its core. Part of the reasoning was that XRP will eventually replace all other currencies since they believed that all value on Earth would eventually be converted to XRP. Ledger. Matt Hamilton, a former employee of Ripple, responds negatively to this bullshit. As Matt Hamilton pointed out, this means you'll be transferring the assets of every government in the world to the XRP ledger. You plan to transfer a tank to the XRP ledger, right? For example, we plan to transfer all military assets to the XRP ledger. And that means what, exactly? Because if you don't destroy the tank and its value is magically transferred to the XRP ledger, then you're counting the tank twice. You're saying that even though the XRP ledger has the value, the physical tanks, guns, and buildings are still there and are worth the same amount as before. That sum is likewise reflected accurately on the XRP ledger. In fact, that was their main point of contention, they just failed to notice that they were counting twice. Not the eternal abyss of torment. And that was the point that was made. When this was brought to the attention of the committee's members, they suddenly became extremely quiet. No one on the buyback committee seemed to be thinking, wow, that's a huge problem. Like Matt Hamilton did here, I brought it up in the channels. Major fault, but they were unable to admit intellectually that they had made a huge mistake and needed to start over. We are completely off base, none of this makes any sense. But that's not good, since it's foolish. However, I am human, therefore I make mistakes too. I'd be like, okay, yeah, you guys got a little bit too excited here if I found out that was indeed its meaning. And I believe you're a part of the same echo chamber that led to this crazy theory. You were basically simply comforting one another before releasing it onto the world. Then everyone would be able to see that it really is insane. Right? What you don't say. However, that is not the main issue. For this reason, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page concerning the nature of the issue at hand. Because the memo did leak, we now know that this is exactly what his buyback committee was discussing at the time. The repurchase committee's goal was, at least in part, to persuade XRP community members to transfer their cryptocurrency to a third-party wallet. Thus, a third party and the transfer of information. And with the promise of this buyback thing going through, and I don't want to get into all the details, and we go way off on a tangent, but they're trying to get people to hand over their XRP slip. No longer control the keys to a wallet, of which they would be in control if they just didn't have them. Anyone who pressures you to hand over your XRP should raise red flags in your mind. That's a really big issue. The fact that Molly Elmore was a part of the planning group just makes matters worse. Plus, it's a hard copy. This isn't some wild hypothesis, we have solid evidence that this was their intended outcome. Each person a member of the committee better convinced to hand over their XRP would earn that person a financial reward. That's right, you'll essentially be paid on a commission basis. Getting someone to effectively hand over the crypto keys, practically the same consequence, is repugnant to me. Then, the haters get you to give up your power for the absurd sum of 120,000 XRP they promised you. Then they can cash in on a commission. A poor incentive structure, if you ask me. What a terrible plan. That's a terrible plan, in my opinion. This was even pointed out by David Schwartz. Here's a headline from the world of cryptocurrencies: XRP buyback program, a scam, says the chief technology officer at Ripple Labs. They are referring to David Schwartz, Ripple's chief technology officer and a co-creator of the XRP cryptocurrency. Moreover, the XRP ledger. He didn't hold back any harsh truths in February of this year. This is a direct quote from David Schwartz, who said, "Not having given it much attention, I can't say. What I have seen, however, strongly suggests that it is a fraud. If the years 2012 and 2022 have taught us anything, it's the fact that you should be suspicious of anyone who offers you great profits with minimal danger." Absolutely correct. I find the whole approach to be repulsive. I started out being kind, but later I refused to reveal that their strange models were incorrect, and I continued to employ them to coerce others into giving up their keys or crypto. I just said, about not enough, at some time. There is also the element of how. That's why I was saying a minute ago that, so you know who Molly Elmore is. I'm surprised they considered her an expert since she was involved in that situation here. Wow, that's kind of you. And I'm not looking at him like I'm just going to do it to him. Not that I think of myself as an expert or anything. Just chatting about these topics here is a blast for me. We are all a part of this community, and I wanted to share this information with you for that reason. When things appear to be fraudulent to me, I get quite suspicious. What the hell do you think you're seeing when you see something like this? So, I thought I'd bring that up. That is why we have decided to collaborate with you. Therefore, it is from here that these ideas originate. I found a Twitter user called Crypto Assets Guy who, in my opinion, had a sound understanding of the situation. After the conclusion of the lawsuit, he tweeted, "I need to say this again, XRP won't hit $1,000, $100, or $50. I think it's amazing if it reaches $5. I'll halt here to say that I don't offer price forecasts. I doubt that it will reach 5 o'clock. That is something I really hope will occur. It's not far-fetched to hope for good news and consider the possibility. Thus, a great deal of complexity. I have no idea what will occur. However, it is not unreasonable to think such might be the case. Moreover, I find it hard to believe that XRP won't eventually reach that level. In my opinion, some people are horribly mistaken about XRP's potential for widespread use in the future. I don't think it's there anymore." Here's what Mel Molly Elmore had to say about it. "And I just don't see the logic in it. I'm going to go ahead and dispute the idea here because I just don't buy what you guys are selling me when you say you don't believe that." However, consider her words here. Speculators hoping to make a quick buck off of trading XRP on an exchange won't drive up its price. Instead, XRP is a desirable place to keep wealth once it is widely used for value movement and exchange. Now the circle of good behavior can begin. I just can't think of a stronger way to disagree. That doesn't even make a lick of logic to me. The value of XRP is set by humans and will remain so indefinitely. That's the truth. I get that there are trading bots and other such examples, but even there, humans determined the bot's operating settings. In other words, the XRP price around the world will always be set by people, which is why what I'm stating is true. Humans are the ones engaging in the trading and speculation. The widespread use of XRP has prompted much conjecture, but what exactly does that mean? Then we can on to discussing monetary worth. Once it gains widespread acceptance, its rising exchange value will make it a desirable place to hold money. I'll tell you what, though. I've surveyed the community about this. I also make no pretense that they have any basis in science. And I've done my own thing. I've seen comparable content published on this platform before, so I know it's possible. It would also be entertaining. But how many of you have something at least as significant as holding XRP? Is it because you've come to regard it as such and think of it as a savings account? I conducted a survey and the results showed that the vast majority of respondents agreed with that statement. And it doesn't even have to be the main reason why you hold XRP. Is it really a reason at all? Because I'll tell you what, back when XRP was still my largest crypto asset, I bought it both as a speculation on its future value and as a means of securing my own wealth. These two concepts are not incompatible, nor do they need to be. When she says that, it's clear that she doesn't expect investor speculation to drive up the price of XRP. Exactly what are you referring to? Bitcoin's value was effectively zero until it was driven up to around $70,000 by speculators, giving it a market size of almost $1.3 trillion. It makes no sense to me that this wouldn't theoretically apply to XRP. Now, I believe that utility is ultimately what will entice consumers as this asset class continues to mature. Yes, of course. That being said, I do think it's a reasonable idea. But it isn't even close to what she's arguing here. When XRP is widely used as a medium of trade and payment, it will also be a desirable place to keep money, as she argued here. I'm not sure if on-demand liquidity was exactly what she had in mind, but it seems likely. So, let's discuss liquidity needs in real time. Just in case that's what she's after, she didn't mention anything about making a deal while she was talking about the value exchange. I mean, I have no idea unless she has personal experience with those who use instead of conventional currency. A single on-demand liquidity transaction is unlikely to significantly affect the XRP price, but a large number of such transactions can. Therefore, it is being put to practical use. Instead, you have XRP being bought on one exchange in one nation and then sold on another exchange in a different market in a different country. So, the first market is experiencing demand from buyers while the second market is seeing demand from sellers. If this imbalanced incident were to go unchecked, the price would continue to rise steadily on just this one exchange in just this one market. However, once it is sold and the jurisdiction changes, the onus of selling is squarely on your shoulders, right? That, then, would become unbalanced if left uncontrolled. We can all get behind that idea. Right. However, this never occurs. You can thank arbitrage for it. Take note of the void that exists. And when these gaps are noticed, people will take advantage of them, and that ends up even another price, but just understand that for every buyer, there is an equal sell side, and then it just evens out its arbitrage. This happens in markets all the time, including in traditional finance and equities. And therefore, that particular deal won't accomplish that by itself. But don't let that bring you down. However, this does not rule out the possibility, or even the likelihood of increased XRP price due to on-demand liquidity. First and foremost, I believe that the fact that cryptocurrency is being utilized for anything at all will encourage investors to buy and keep the asset for the sake of speculation. So, there's simply the idea that, but maybe just as significant, maybe, is when the XRP is being used for instantaneous liquidity. Keep in mind what I said at the beginning of the video, this is for your eyes only. So, if the need for on-demand liquidity suddenly skyrockets to the point where I can't even fathom how big a number like that could be, then let's pretend for a moment that in some alternate universe, transactions of trillions of dollars per day are routine. Therefore, you are unable to acquire the XRP that is being used in these international trades. You are not allowed to utilize it for any financial or personal purposes. So, if you're still interested in taking part in the XRP ecosystem, all you have to do is hold XRP and spend it on whatever you like. A purchase is required, but you won't be able to get your hands on the items everyone else has. This factor undoubtedly contributes to the supply and demand dynamics that drive the price of XRP higher, but I wanted to paint a more complete picture by pointing out that, even in the case of a single transaction, the market always finds a way to balance itself out. So the reason why I think this works and can ultimately move the price of XRP is because of something I've been theorizing about for over half a decade. If you have that kind of activity, which could be anything, not just on-demand liquidity, if you have a crazy increase in the quantity of people who hold XRP purely as a store of value, then it can't be used for anything else. To restate, I am asking what factors influence the XRP price. When you get down to brass tacks, or what really makes a difference, it's the rising demand for XRP. There is not enough interest to justify a price of $3, $4, or $5 per XRP at the moment, so that we can sell it at that price. Every day, people make educated guesses about it. But until more people come in and start making predictions and wanting to buy it, nothing will change. Perhaps a storage value is a factor in the hypothesis. You won't see that, however, until more of the same occurs. In this case, I think Molly is completely off the mark. However, she also deemed it acceptable to publish a buyback model demonstrating that, if we are to take this seriously, XRP with these parameters could hit $220,000 and then double count assets. And then, even after it was made clear that they had made a mistake, they still refused to accept responsibility. Even if it wasn't you, and it wasn't gonna be them, the whole thing was just the financial incentive to convince your fellow XRP community members to move their hard-won XRP to a third party. Still, there would have been a third party that contributed significantly to the growth. Not to mention the possibility of bribes and other benefits in return. I thought it was tough at the time, but looking back it's amazing. Then David Schwartz was correct when he claimed it all seems like a scam. Here is that February 5, 2023, David Schwartz quote again. Not having given it much attention, I can't say. What I have seen, however, strongly suggests that it is a fraud. If 2012 and 2022 taught us anything, it's that you shouldn't trust anyone who promises you great returns with low risk. David Schwartz, then. Not sugarcoating it. You can understand why I've been worried. So that's what they meant when they said expert here. It's ridiculous for her to suggest that the recent rise in the worldwide price of XRP wasn't driven by human speculation. That will never happen. Human beings will always be the ones doing the trading. The dynamics of supply and demand must also be considered. No matter how many buttons you add, the parameter of the bot will always be sent by a human. That's just the way things are and always will be. Thus, there is no bad news here. And, I'm just coming to terms with the fact that this is, in fact, very terrific material. This is why an increasing number of people are dabbling in cryptography. Because of this, I think XRP's value may rise substantially over time. Just consider this, with far less value for XRP than you might assume. The year 2017 marks well over half a decade since that time. And with only a tiny percentage of the world's population having ever handled XRP, it maintained a near $4 price at all times despite having practically no practical use, almost no human involvement, and almost no cryptocurrency. That's incredible, and totally awesome. That's incredible. Imagine now that the SEC's finding will be reproduced as time goes on, XRP's utility will continue to grow, which it already has, and more people will enter the cryptocurrency market. There are a lot of positive signs that point to this situation improving. But in the end, it will be humans who decide what the XRP price is. I think that covers everything. That's the way things have to be. However, I respect your right to differ. Such exchanges usually seem like a lot of fun to me. Conceptual cheerleading is a lot of fun. It's okay with me if you disagree with me. Simply explain your position and I promise we can have a good laugh back and forth. Screaming matches and arguments aren't entertaining to me. But if we're both just trying to figure out what the truth is and get there together, even if we disagree, then that's exciting. Emotions have no place in disputes or deep intellectual exchanges, yet I enjoy both. They feel insulted. You. A horrible idea, according to what you said. I feel personally attacked. It's like I reach adulthood, and all I do is rack up bills and interest. This is where I will end my remarks. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I say should influence any purchases you make for yourself. Right? And please like and subscribe my channel as always. See you later, bye.